Sharon here. I'm going to try something new. It's going to be my little video log, or vlog, I guess you could say. And I'm going to call it my gripe of the week, because I always have a gripe of some sort. So I really think I can do actually a weekly gripe. Pretty sure I can do that. So I just thought, hey, this is a good way to just kind of get out there and vent a little bit. You know, we're entitled, we can do that. So why not? It'll be fun. So first, I'm going to start with sports because, well, I like sports. So the Twins are doing pretty good right now. They're actually doing really well right now. So good job, guys. Round of applause for them. Keep it up. You know, onward and upward, that's what I always say. And Vikings, hey, football's here. Woo! Another round of applause for that. Boy, it's been a long summer. Whew. But football's finally here. Yes! Not really off to a great start for us, but, you know, it's early. It was the first game of the season. Everybody's just trying to get their sea legs. You know, I get it. Alright, but time to, you know, reel it in, guys, okay? Yeah. So, we'll see what happens Sunday against Miami. Alright? So, anyway, since we are on the subject of football, there's been a little development, hasn't there, in the football world this week? Yeah, a little scandal of some sort with the New York Jets. This is my gripe. My very first gripe for my very first little gripe video. And it's a big one. Okay? Because, yeah, I really think it's a raw deal for the Jets. I really feel bad for them, guys. You know? I think it's not fair, what's happened here. I think it's very unfortunate. I really don't know what else to say other than, you know, if you don't know what's going on, I suppose I should really kind of elaborate a little bit on what has happened. There's a girl, reporter, female reporter. I guess she walked into the men's locker room wearing tight fitting clothes and got upset because of the reception she got from that. You know, apparently they whistled and hooting and hollering at her, you know, which is, I guess, I mean, I would think, you know, you put tight clothes on, you get the girls out there showing them, you know, you get your booty going, and you get a certain response. Well, hey, you got exactly what you wanted, you know. But I guess it was a little too much for you or something. I don't know. I don't understand it. So she went and cried, you know, made a big fuss because they hooted and hollered at her in the locker room. Okay? There's a lot of things wrong with this, okay? So I'm just going to go down the list. Number one, women reporters should not be allowed in men's locker rooms. Period. End of story. They just shouldn't. That is no place for a woman. First of all, we're talking about pro athletes here. Can you imagine the smell in that locker room? Number one. Number two, there's men in there. Hello? It's pretty obvious. Keep the women out of the locker rooms, okay? If women reporters want to interview the athletes, they can wait until they're dressed and out of the locker room, okay? Do men go in women's locker rooms to interview athletes? I don't think so. I don't think that's allowed. But maybe I'm new. Hey, maybe, you know, I'm not afraid to admit I don't know something, okay? Maybe they do interview women in their women's locker rooms. But somehow I find that hard to believe, okay? So there's a little something going on there, you know? How is that fair? Men can't go into women's locker rooms, but women can go into men's locker rooms? That ain't right. Get the women out of there, okay? That's number one. Number two, this reporter dresses in the skimpiest little outfits that a reporter really should not be dressed like that. Okay? Really, she shouldn't be, unless she's like reporting strippers or something. I don't know. I mean, but if I were a reporter, I would not be dressed the way she's dressed. Now, she was on the news today, the early show had her, and so she wants to talk about her whole little experience and how traumatic it was, whatever. Okay, so what does she wear to her interview on the early show? Well, she wears a short skirt, of course, that's up to here, her crotch, okay, tight, 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 tight shirt, cut down to here, which most of her shirts are, because I have seen video clips of her during this whole story that they were talking about on the news. They were showing video clips of her, interviewing players in her past, and every outfit she had was just this skimpy little nothing outfit, hardly anything on. So her shirt's down to here, girls hanging out, and this is a morning news show. This is how she's dressed, and she's sitting there demanding respect. Really? I mean, seriously? Why is this even newsworthy? That's what I want to know. Why did it make the news? It's a complete waste of everyone's time. Okay? If she's going to dress like that, she's going to get the response that she should be expecting, dressed like that. Alright? And that's what happened. And then she just cried about it. That's all it was. They didn't do anything wrong. And I think it's really unfair to the players that they have to go through this. They don't have to answer to anything. It's a men's locker room. Hello? What do you expect is going to happen in there? What do you think goes on in a men's locker room? Do you have any clue at all whatsoever? Oh, gosh. Anyway, yeah, that was a pretty big gripe. But it had to be, I had to say something. Because that just pissed me off. Not only is it insulting to me, because I'm embarrassed, actually. I'm embarrassed more than anything. Being a female, I'm just embarrassed about this whole thing. This is not any better than a woman crying rape who wasn't raped. How is that fair? It's not. Don't do that. Don't do that to these guys. Give them a break. If you want to be treated with respect, then maybe you should rethink your wardrobe. No? If you want to be treated seriously, maybe you should rethink your wardrobe, Maybe you shouldn't wear shirts that are cut down to here so that your girls are hanging out, staring at everybody in the face. Maybe you shouldn't wear tight-ass jeans, so that they're skin tight, which leaves nothing to the imagination for any guy. It's really a no-brainer. Okay? Just my little tip to you, sister. Not that you're going to listen, but anyway, that's my gripe of the week. So, till next week, and I will have another gripe. See you later.